A quantum leap is the experience of space in order to collapse time that it takes to get to your destination. Here at the Mystic and the Magician podcast, we are going to teach you how to do that, the best ways to do it, and the most fulfilling results that you could experience. Hi, and welcome back to the Mystic and the Magician podcast. I'm your host, Cossondre, and my co-host, Spring, is here. And today we're going to be talking about addiction, but not like drugs or alcohol. We're going to be talking about how you can be addicted to your own bullshit.
I love this. I actually like certain astrological signs will be more susceptible to addiction, which is funny. And I am one of these that's addicted. Get addicted to all kinds of things. I've never been addicted to a controlled substance, but I get addicted to food. I get addicted to soda. I was addicted to soda, not the caffeine. It was the fizziness and the burn as it went down my throat as I was going to school.
Oh, yeah, that fizzy. Yeah, I had that.
I had to burn my esophagus and like the top of my stomach and my intestines every morning because I needed that rush. It was crazy. And I knew I was addicted to it. So bad so I got arthritis in my thumb from popping my soda cans.
We're even going to go like deeper than that though. Okay, so basically, let me just like give this like preface. So addiction is anything that puts your power outside of you. Like you cannot XYZ without XYZ, right? Like, and the addiction becomes to the brain chemical composition that the thing that you're addicted to creates. So you're addicted to your own drug that your brain makes. And a lot of people don't realize this. So we all know that there's like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, adrenaline. We can be addicted to that shit through situations like perfectionism or drama and gossip or fear, like being addicted to your own adrenaline. So I've made a list of situations that I've been addicted to. There's probably a lot more, but we're just going to go over some of them and what it creates. Like, I don't know all of the brain chemical compositions that it creates. You were in medical, so maybe you can help with that a little bit. But the first one I have is like addicted to the future and achievements, like perfectionism, or what's under that layer is gaining love through achievement.
Right. But it's that's another adrenaline one where you're like constantly pumping and pumping and pumping. And every time you get an achievement, that gives you an adrenaline rush. And so then you want more.
So you're constantly striving to get that rush. It's just like drugs. You're like literally addicted to your own.
What happens when you take like speed? It's an adrenaline rush.
Right.
And so your body makes that gets that chemical. And it's the same when you're one of those people that are looking for love and you have to achieve that love through your success. So you're constantly doing that and you're getting closer and you're building that adrenaline, and it'll get to the point your body will make that adrenaline to get you that rush, just like if you were on speed.
Well, all drugs really are creating brain chemicals.
Yes, that's why
all they are. Like drugs are synthetic to creating these brain chemical compositions that these situations make. Another one that I wanted to talk about, and we both have been here, is your body, eating disorders or working out.
Yep.
So it could go either way, or even food.
I've done all three of those.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So it's even that like one extreme to the next mentality. Like you're constantly got to be like doing something. And so this is kind of like an OCD perfectionism thing also, I feel. So another one is serial dating.
Really?
Serial dating.
Really? So what do you get from that?
So it's another gaining love. You're gaining love through like
rush that's going.
Yeah.
No,
meeting people or hooking up or sex or anything like that. So like serial dating, like
that also
swiping on Tinder and hooking up all the time. Another one that we recently broke out of, I actually looked at my screen time on my phone the other day, is social media.
Wow, that's a huge one. And I'm not even sure what word we get out of it because I still pick up my phone and look for my Facebook app.
I'm seeing a common theme because it's like gaining love.
Is it
gaining love through likes, gaining love through other people's
I guess you
perception
would
of
get like
you.
on a rush when you would see that something you're posted got shared, or
Yeah.
it does bring on a rush.
And I actually like checked my screen time, and since I deleted social media, I used to spend 22 hours a week on social media.
Oh, wow.
I know. Like, remember when I deleted it and I was like, I have so much free time. That's why, because I spent one entire day a week accumulated on social media.
And that is bad. That is not that that's bad, but it's that social media is an addiction. It's, you're looking for love, and like we talked about it a couple weeks ago,
how it puts you in lack, so that
you're
constantly trying to be enough for the people on social media. So it like immediately puts you in lack, and then you're like, what can I do to gain love on here?
right.
Another one is stress.
That is true.
Can't break out of stress.
When Brian had his breakdown, I actually did a lot of research on stress and how your body actually will stress itself out so you can feel that adrenaline rush. So instantly you'll look for things that stress you out because your body automatically wakes up and goes into stress mode.
Yeah. It's like, I need this. I need this. So you start freaking out over every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was married to an actual like heroin addict before, and that's what he would do. He would wake up, and immediately upon opening his eyes, he'd be like, oh my God, I gotta get high. I gotta get high. I gotta get high. So it's the same, like.
So stress triggers the same thing as a heroin.
Yeah.
Just to put that in perspective for people.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I think I'm pretty sure heroin is dopamine. So like you're stressed. I don't know. I don't know the science, like the neuroscience behind it, but like that's what he used to do. He used to wake up, and immediately upon opening his eyes, he'd be like, I gotta get high. I gotta get high. And that's like what the whole thing was for the day until it happened. And when people are stressed, they wake up and they're immediately like, oh my God, all this shit. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It's true.
Like they wake up angry or irritated.
I would watch Brian look for stuff to stress about. And then I would hear him in the morning get up, and then he would start like, he'd be mad because he couldn't, find his socks, and then be mad because he couldn't find his badges. And he was mad because, and it went on and on and on.
Then you go into the kitchen and you can't find a coffee cup, and like everything's the fucking
And it was just constant, like all day, from the time he opened his eyes to the time he closed his eyes, just constant stress. And your brain doesn't turn that off when you're asleep. So that's exactly.
Yeah. When it's habitual like that.
So that's exactly like a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's really sad.
I know. I know. Another one is survival mode.
Okay, that's me.
It was me for years and years. That was like really difficult to break out of, but we got to get clean. We literally got to get sober off our own bullshit, right? Like that's like what the awakening is. It's like you got to get sober off your own bullshit. And
that's good. Actually, your awakening is actually realizing you don't need.
Yeah, you got to get clean. You got to get sober off your own bullshit. Like
that explains the whole detox and why the awakening is so painful.
Yeah.
It's your detox.
Yeah, imagine like a heroin addict in pain, like withdrawing. Like we are withdrawing off our bullshit.
And that explains why you lose people in your circle, because those are your addict friends.
Yes. Oh my God, this is like perfect. we need a mug that says that you got to get sober off your own bullshit.
That's cool.
That's like a really good quote. I'm putting it in my next book.
That's your title.
Another one is wait, let's talk about survival for a minute. We didn't really go into it. So like survival mode is when everything threatens your livelihood.
Yeah.
So like not saving money so that you live month to month on bills, and you're like constantly like, okay, I got to figure out how to pay my rent. Like I got to figure out how to pay this, and everything always gets paid. You always make sure everything gets paid, but you live in that constant.
Yeah. Like, do you know what those people do? And I'm talking those people
like us. Yeah.
They self-sabotage.
Yeah.
You'll find that people
stay in that
have bad spending habits where they will shop even though they
yourself. Yeah.
You'll treat yourself. But then you'll treat yourself to like, I have $20 in my bank. What can I buy for $19.99?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah. And it takes like serious determination and self-commitment, which is like where I'm at right now, where it's like instead of trying to manifest the lottery, like I'm actually saving the money I have and it's drawing more money into me. I'm actually making more money because I feel worthy of my own.
Right.
So
And
it's like,
that's
yeah,
in all the books.
yeah. Like
All the books tell you that.
I'm getting sober off of my own bullshit with that. I deleted the Amazon app. I joined an aerial yoga class, but I'm seriously like I take it very personally, and like Kevin like brought up because I bought this sweater the other day. He's like, I thought we were saving, and I immediately started crying. Like I felt guilty because I was like, I really want to break this bullshit because I'm addicted to that survival mentality because I was in it for so long. And when you're in it, when you're actually in it and your survival depends on it, like you get trapped in that.
Do you think your sweatshirt was a sabotage?
No, I don't, because it was on sale. No, it was like originally $70 and it was on sale for like $30. And I was like, I'm getting that sweatshirt. Had it been $70, I would have been like, no, because I'm putting like this budget in my head now. And I don't know. I feel very, very cautious. Like I have our groceries on a budget. I don't just frivolously even spend at the grocery store anymore. So I feel like I'm really determined to break that cycle. But it took me until now at 30 years old after being in this cycle since I was 15. So that's 15 years. So of course there's going to be a couple relapses,
but
like, quote unquote.
See, there's also another way where you are a constant saver, waiting for you to drop. This is me. This is where I come in at. I have like I hoard like a mofo. I hoard money like crazy. I was addicted to like designer bags, and Brian traveled a lot. And so to make up for every holiday that he missed, I would make him get me a bag. I'm not so into those now. I kind of, materialistic, along with awakening. You really don't give a crap about materialistic items and name brands and all that stuff anymore.
You start caring about just things that like actually make you feel good.
Experiences.
Yeah.
But now I have this closet full of all these designer bags, and I use them. So I don't even think I could sell them. But what I have done is when I do laundry and I find money, it goes into a jar. When I fill the jar up, I put that money, I roll it, and I put it in my designer bags.
So they each weigh 70 pounds.
And then at the end of the year, I go take it to the bank. And there's usually a lot of money in there. About $1,000 I can save throughout the year. But I have these things hoarded and saved. Like there's money jars all over my house because I'm saving. I have 2 other pieces of real estate that I'm saving. I was like, I need to sell everything.
Yeah.
But I'm like waiting because it's like, I have this feeling like if something happens, I have this. If something happens, I have this.
So when something happens, you don't touch it. And that's the funny thing. That's like the other extreme.
I will sit and like just go through whatever, it's like, this kid has to go to the dentist because he knocked his teeth out. It's like, well, I'll pull money from here. I'll pull money from here, but I have money tucked away in all these little places. But if I have like $12 in my bank account to get through till Friday, I won't pull from there. I'll leave the $12 in there because I'm like, no, I'm broke.
Yeah.
Even though there's money in other accounts.
Yeah, so you don't want to go from one extreme to the other, but that's still survival. Like
it's survival.
Still survival because you won't touch it.
Because right. Yeah, and I feel like I'm broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
The next one is drama and gossip.
I have never been anybody that was into this kind of stuff.
I have met a lot of people into this.
I have met a lot of people. Like my mother-in-law is one of these. She's one of these people that love to know everybody's business. And it's so funny to me because I'm like, you need a hobby. I was like, good God almighty, lady.
Yeah, for real. Like I feel like this is also another thing that's kind of like based in adrenaline because you're constantly like, are they going to find out what I said about them? And you're constantly like a shit starter, like you're stirring the pot. And I also feel like this is a lot of like projection too. Like if you're worried about everyone else, then you don't have to look at what you're doing.
I've always thought that, but I never thought about the whole adrenaline rush. Are they going to know what I said?
I know this because when I was a stripper, I used to like go in these crowds like that, and I was like constantly living in stress, like when is this gonna blow up? Because it always does.
It
It
always
always
does.
fucking does. So I was constantly in stress, like when is this gonna blow up? When is like so and so gonna get mad that we were talking about? Like whatever, you know what I mean? So I like that's when I created the rule for myself. I actually broke out of that. That was like the easiest addiction to break because I was like, I officially like will not say anything about anyone that I didn't already say to their face.
Right.
And so then I like if I already had that conversation with that person and then I was talking to one of our mutual friends, like I would never say anything. And what's funny is that everything I said would always get back to them anyway. And they'd be like, I know she already told me. Like,
Yeah.
so there was never any like drama around it because the person was like, I know we already talked about that.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about that before.
Yeah, because I'm like a good
That's a
person.
really
So like,
horrible energy to be in.
yeah, like I
Waiting,
was
waiting
always
for
like,
a storm to blow up.
yeah, I was always
Yeah.
like, when is my friend group gonna get fucking pissed off again? You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of like drama because everyone was always talking about everyone. So I was just like, I caught that shit. I was like, I'm not saying shit that I didn't say. And I don't care if we had that conversation the day before. Like I would make sure I said it to their face before anyone tried to come to me talking about it.
Yeah.
Another one is anxiety. This is also fear. So I feel like this is like adrenaline because you're
Yeah.
constantly like scared of like what people think of you, how you're perceived, like or doing a good job. Like that's kind of a mix of all of them and it like creates anxiety.
Yeah. And anxiety is another one of those that your body will instantly start to produce that on its own. You'll wake up and you'll look for things to be anxious about so that you get that adrenaline.
It becomes habitual, yeah. And then you just live in this constant state of anxiety.
Yeah. And that causes ulcers.
Another one is okay, so I put money, but I want to explain what I mean by that. So money means like your value is in how much money you have or make. So your definition of success and you being in money. So like constantly striving for more money, to be worth more, to be more valued.
Yeah.
And there's no end. I just want to say that like there's never an end.
Yeah, it'll never be enough. You can work yourself at 60. Brian was bad about this. He would work 60 some odd hours a week. 68 hours a week was his norm. And it was never enough money. He never had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, how many hours do you want to work? You want to work 80 hours? Will that be enough?
There's never enough. There's never enough. Another one is hoarding. So hoarding material things, filling your house up, attaching memories or potential to items, which we've touched on a little bit in the podcast before. And this is another one that is kind of like, I feel like it's fear associated, like fear of loss of the memories or the potential that you're attaching to the items.
I would really love to dig into this really deep, honestly, on this one, because this is one that a lot of my family has. My grandparents hoard all this stuff from their past memories. My mom hoards a lot of stuff. My husband is a hoarder. Like
a lot of men are. And I've actually like I think this is because men are like they're like so conditioned to not feel. And so they like put it outside of them. They put it in stuff.
So their memories are actually in
their feelings are actually in the items because they're like, I can't cry, I can't be sad, so I'm just gonna put it all in this shit, and then I'm just gonna like surround myself with it.
Like that SeaWorld cup, my husband bought at a thrift store because we went to SeaWorld before.
It makes him feel stuff.
That cup,
yeah,
makes him. I mean,
because he would be like less manly. Kevin read that book. It's called Man Enough.
Man Enough.
Yeah, it's called Man Enough, and it's a lot about like the stigma of men and like actually like embodying like your true manhood, which is not in the stigma of like strong and not feeling and egoic. Um, he said it was a really good book,
I
but
wonder if we help push that.
huh?
I wonder if we help push that.
Push what?
The whole strong enough masculine, type. Oh, I'm always telling him, do this, you're strong. Do this, you're strong.
I
You're strong.
I don't push that because I'm that person. So I more facilitate, I think, being more nurturing and feeling because I'm not. Because
Right.
I don't resonate with that woman stigma. So I think that I facilitate more of like a reversed role thing.
See, like if I have to open something, because his wrists are bad, he can't open things, and I lift. So I'm actually stronger. I can actually lift and push and pull and being stronger than he can. I can do more push-ups than he can.
I
And
actually did that once in a bar. Like I was I worked in like this like old school biker bar and this guy came in and he like challenged me to push-ups and I fucking whooped his ass in push-ups. I was
yeah,
like right here, right now at work. And I was
that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So, but I will tell him, I was like, open this jar. And he's like, no. And I was like, you can do it because you're strong. And then I'll have to open the stupid freaking jar.
yeah. I
But
think I think because I was a single mom for so long, whenever I can't open like the pickle jar, I like take a knife and stab a hole in it to like break the seal. Like I just like work it out.
I mean, I was a married single mom for 10 years. So I was married, so I didn't get to have hookups, but I didn't have
But
him.
you're yeah, you had a traveling.
Right. So he was
Yeah,
gone.
it was the same thing.
I lived like around, right. I live right down the street from where I live now, and there's a fire station on the next street over. If I couldn't get something open and I beat it and I punched it and used the rubber screwy thing and I never could open it, I would take it down to the fire station and ask the firemen to open my spaghetti jars.
That's amazing.
It was
See, we
hilarious.
work it out. We work it out.
Figure it out.
The last one that I have, this is the last one, and these are just like my personal ones that I've been through, but I feel like there's probably more.
Oh, there is a lot more.
But the last one I have is shopping.
That
And
was
this is like super, super easy to get like stuck in because you feel that reward, just like perfectionism, you feel that reward of
there's
like
a
getting
lot of
something.
okay, we're going to touch on this one because there's a lot of things you do with shopping. One, when I was a married single mom, I would reward myself for a hard work. I had a really long, crappy week. It sucks. It's hard being a
I
single.
deserve this.
I deserve this. I'm bidding myself this. I was going to the gym at the time. So I was like, okay, here, because I went to the gym 5 days this week, I get this, I had this, I did this. So I made like excuses why I should get this item.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the rush of waiting for said item to come in the mail.
Mm-hmm. And the nice surprise of when it comes.
And there was a rush for looking for a sale.
Yeah.
Like there was so much built up into that.
There was a girl that was on Survivor. She's on TikTok now. I love Survivor. She was on Survivor, and on Survivor they don't like eat a lot. They gotta like scrounge for food or like eat tiny portions of rice to share with the tribe. She said when she got home, it was hard to turn off the eating because every meal was, I deserve this. I deserve this. She got stuck in that, like, because she went through like 45 days of like terrible, terrible shit. And she got home, I deserve this. And it was so easy to get stuck in that, like pissing everything away because.
Where does that come from? That deserve. I deserve.
I think when we feel like we went through something really hard, instead of just feeling the sadness for ourselves that we went through something really hard, we're like filling it with stuff that we deserve.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That was my big thing. Like I would tell myself, oh, I earned this.
That's one of the things that kept me in survival mode because I was like, life is really hard. I deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, about that. You actually don't deserve to make your body terrible with food or to piss all your money away. You actually don't deserve those things. So you're actually doing the opposite. But you feel that instant
gratification.
That's what I was looking for. Instant gratification for that little thing that just keeps you going for another week. You know, you're just like,
that's what it did. It literally kept me going because I would be like excited and waiting for the UPS truck to come.
Yeah.
That time Amazon.
It gave you some hope through your week, and it just kept you. It just kept you barely there, like barely going. Yeah.
That's all survival.
Yeah.
I was hoping to survive.
It got you through till the next fix. Like that's fucking crackhead mentality.
Yes.
It gets you through till the next fix. That's all it does.
Yep.
This addiction is fucking wild, man. Like you think it's just like drug addicts, but it's not. And this is like the source. Like this is the source of it. Like people are treating addiction like it's the problem, but it's the side effect to the real problem. And like we're actually talking about all of the real problems. Like you could easily supplement shopping with crack.
Right.
You could easily supplement hoarding with heroin, like stress with heroin. Like it's all just that chemical composition in your brain, like this world of addictions. And you hear so many spiritual leaders talk about like that's the world of addiction, and you don't really comprehend the depth of what they're saying because addiction is all around us all the time.
Yeah. And it's easy to sit on like your high horse and like look at somebody who is an actual drug addict and judge
like,
them.
Yeah, and say like, oh, I would never do that. My kids would never do that. But you're probably doing it right now.
Right. See, my son is a recovering addict. And there was a point in time where we couldn't have money in our house. We could not have money. Like we had made a collection of quarters from all of our kids, like for the quarters for the year they were born. And we had a collection of books for each one of them. He went through and he stole quarters out of everybody's book. So, I mean, we couldn't even keep quarters in our house. And it got to the point where we never even carried cash on us. I still hardly ever have cash on me because he would take it. He would constantly take it. And I would sit here and judge him for that. At the same time, I was shopping for my next fix. Mm-hmm. So it's really funny.
You were doing the exact same thing. I was doing just with something else.
Right.
And it's not like the whole stealing part of addiction, right? Like we're like stealing from ourselves.
Exactly.
Or other people. Like if you're doing like drama or gossip, like you're stealing other people's energy for that fix.
Yep. And I mean, taking money out so I could go on all these shopping. I mean, I had credit card debt like you wouldn't believe that I had to take care of before we bought our house. I had 8 months of living on such a tight budget, paying off all my credit cards from my shopping addiction.
Yeah.
So, and that was a mess.
I've been there. I did that cycle with my credit cards a lot over the last few years where I would like max them all out and then have to pay them all off and then be in struggle because I paid them off with other bill money and have to fucking catch up, play this game. It's all just like brain chemicals, like being addicted to that, like, you know,
any of it.
And it's so sad because we both make enough money and live off of enough money to like do just fine.
Right.
Like most of us do. Like most of us have enough money for everything. And if we just saved, we would have a nice little cushion as well. But instead we're like, I deserve this, or I need to do this, or, you know, and all that deserving shit does is keep us in that. It's like, it's a super destructive pattern.
And do you deserve to spend money off of a credit card to buy something? You should never do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like paid all mine off and cut them all up. Mm-hmm. And I made Kevin take his out of the wallet because I'm like, we are not doing this anymore. Like, we're getting out of this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be good.
Yep.
So
and that feels good. But then see also like then you're gonna get to where, because I lived on Dave Ramsey most of my adult life. And it was insane, like that adrenaline of saving money. And I think that that's where my mentality of my change came in.
That's what I was just about to say. So because I get addicted to like the perfectionist thing and like the working toward the next goal thing, the achievement thing, right. I also can get addicted to like watching my bank account go up.
Right.
And then like after that addiction, I piss it all away.
Right. Well, I mean, it got so bad. Like we would, when I would buy a vehicle, I would shop around and I would negotiate and I would get like a killer ass deal on a vehicle. Like I bought a brand new Durango for $17,000 that had a sticker price for $27,000.
You're really good at getting really big things.
And I negotiated. I went in there. I, worked with the owner of the company that had this dealership, and I negotiated this deal for this cash offer on this truck. I drove that SUV. I still have it. It's parked in my backyard. It still runs. I could still drive it, but it's leaking everywhere. But my goal was to keep this and drive it 250,000 miles because I wanted to say I drove it to the moon. But I had this addiction to, like, I had to keep this car for so long because I wanted to put this miles on it to say I did that. I was driving this old ass car around. Everyone around me is driving like really nice new cars, and I'm still in my old clunker because I'm like, no, I'm going to drive this because it's paid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Till it left me stranded, and my daughter needed to get to a doctor, and I couldn't get to the doctor because my car was broken, and then my other car was broken. And Brian's like, I'm getting you a car that's reliable if I'm going to be out of town.
Right.
That's how I got my other car.
So let's like end this with how to break these habits, like the cure. So like, just like any like addiction, you have to get more in the present and shift your perspective to what you're really worth.
Yeah. It's all about being in the present, because I am notorious for switching one addiction to the next. I was addicted to food, so I switched it for working out.
Yeah, that's literally what happens is people with these like little addictions mentality,
you will replace it with another addiction. So the only way there is to get out of that is to be in the present. You're not looking for your next fix,
and not in the present like YOLO either. Like not in the present.
Right. Don't YOLO.
Do not YOLO.
That is also an addiction. The rush of like, watch this, I caused a train wreck.
Yeah. More in the present, as in like, do I really need this right now? What do I need more in this moment? What is filling me in this moment? Because sometimes it's just to feel. Sometimes it's literally just like to feel in the moment. Like what void am I trying? Like really get real with yourself and honest with yourself and ask yourself, like, what am I trying to do by wanting this?
Yes.
What feelings am I not feeling by wanting this? Like really just get present with yourself. Meditation really helps with this because you start getting real and honest and letting your thoughts flow and not judging your thoughts. Right. Like not being judgmental, like, ooh, why do I want this? Like not that, like just saying like, oh, like I appreciate this thought and let it go.
Yes. And journal this stuff out. Really sit and journal it. I mean, that's something I guess I need to spend more time on because I'm noticing I still have some of these issues.
Trigger warning. We just triggered the fuck out of ourselves and everyone else.
I just noticed.
Now that you bring this to my awareness,
I'm going to journal through some of this. And don't judge your feelings. Like it's okay to feel those feelings.
Yeah. Judgment of your feelings keeps you like sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like lying to yourself will keep you sick. In fact, just do the 12 steps for all of this bullshit. I love the 12 steps. I actually really do love the 12 steps. I think that they're a huge tool for self-development.
That's really funny. We don't have a blog anymore. I was going to be like, I'm going to post the 12 steps in our network.
Yeah. Part of what you do in like Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous is the 12-step program. And I was actually in Narcotics Anonymous for a little while. It didn't really resonate with me. It didn't really help me, but I thought I did do the 12 steps, and the 12 steps are a huge fucking tool for self-development. There's a couple things that I would like shift is like, there's one, I think it's step 4. There's one step where you have to like seek amends for all the damage that you've done. And really that amends should be in yourself. I don't think that someone else's apology I think we seek outside for what we don't think we can give ourselves inside. And I think that a lot of it needs to just be done within you. That self-forgiveness. Yeah. So things like that where you like shift your power back from outside to inside. But other than that, I think that the 12 steps are a huge tool for self-development.
Yeah. I'm going to rewrite these as a spiritual sense, and I'll post those in our network.
Spiritual 12 steps.
Spiritual 12 steps.
I'm going to post a link to our network if you would like to join and do the 12 steps with us. There is actually more on this topic in shadow work and courses in our network. This is like a little tidbit of what we do in shadow work. We go a lot deeper though and really get into all of our shadow self parts, the parts that we like hide from ourselves or ignore. And that is it for this week.
Yeah, you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
See y'all.
Bye.